question is more around just the major drivers of the characters. So whether created or based on real people, there are major drivers that kind of inform how they interact with other people, how they interact with family, things of that nature. Gigante particularly, I always thought, and this could be me being too deep or just me just reading what it is, but his last name being Gigante, went in Spanish meaning huge or big, and he's so small-minded though. He has such a small-minded worldview, and even the way he approaches people, he doesn't want to be beneath people. He always has to constantly prove himself. And with that understanding, it's interesting with your portrayal of Malcolm, which is actually my favorite character of the show.
Oh, thank you.
He, particularly to Bumpy, is constantly trying to prove himself, constantly trying to express that this is not a scheme, this is not another hustle, this is this is in his heart.
Yeah.
So with both of that in mind for each of your characters, can you just talk about their major drivers?
For me, is wanting people to understand that what's at the foundation of Malcolm X is peace. Peace. And I don't think people get that because, they'll see Malcolm, on the soapbox or, preaching, and they feel like they're watching this angry black man. And that's not the case at all. I mean, there's certain things that he needed to say simply because of the way that we were being treated, and those things needed to be said at that time to wake people up, because, I think that they were almost like stuck, like people did not know what to do. Can you imagine? Fire hoses, dogs getting sick on you. It's like, what do you do? At the end of the day, I think people will walk away with a bit of a history lesson, And we're not here, beating a history lesson into people, but it will happen.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of the way that the script is written, because it creeps in without it even being intended.
Yeah, but there's one thing I would like to add to what you guys are saying is that you also need to check the history books.
Yes.
Because the history books aren't always correct, number one. And it's because they're written by white men. And the other thing is that we're not always correct because we're dramatic. And we have a structure of our story, and we need to entertain. So we, in our business, we change things to our, to make the drama work. But if it influences people to check their history.
It did. Almost everything. I would pause it.
Right?
I would go to Google Scholar. I'm like, did this happen? Who is this?
Yeah.
So absolutely.
It could stir up a lot of good things. If you get kids that are studying history that's the wrong history to say, wait a second, this says that, maybe I should check that.
Yeah.
And people that don't know anything about it thinking like, oh shit, that happened? Really? So it's like a mix of things. It's really cool.
Yeah.